Hello, I'm Jason Sloss. It's 6 o'clock. Time for news.
Now, live from the desert's news leader, this is breaking news.
Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news as the ground continues to shake near the Salton Sea with a swarm of earthquakes hitting Imperial County throughout the day. And they have been felt here in the Coachella Valley all the way to San Diego and Orange counties. Most of the seismic activity is centered around Brawley, south of the Salton Sea. The biggest so far, a 5.5 magnitude quake just before 2 this afternoon. A 4.8 quake also struck just after 4:30. Seismologists are calling it the activity a classic Brawley swarm that hasn't been seen since the 1970s. The quakes began at sunrise and a magnitude 5.3 quake hit just after 12:30, followed by a 4.9 2 minutes later. Some buildings in the small farm town were evacuated. Here's a picture of one of our viewers who sent in this to Newsline 3. John Abarca said a porch collapsed in this neighborhood. But that's not all. There's damage reported for at least 3 businesses on Main Street in Brawley. This one showing a furniture store with broken windows. But good news, there's not been any reports of injuries. The seismic activity rattling nerves in Imperial County, and we've learned Pioneers Memorial Hospital in Brawley is evacuating patients as a precaution. News Channel 3's Bianca Ray is at JFK Hospital in Indio, where some of those patients are being moved to. Bianca, what's the latest?
Hi, Jason. Yes, because of all the seismic activity today, they are evacuating part of that hospital over in Brawley, and One Valley Hospital right here in Indio is taking on some of their patients. JFK, where we are at right now, got a call at about 2:15 this afternoon seeking beds and staffing. Pioneers Memorial evacuated all but their emergency room because that structure of the building is safe. So far, JFK has accepted 3 ICU patients and 1 medical surgical patient. And one patient who you're seeing arrive in this video is here so far. He's on a ventilator, and another patient also on a ventilator will be here in about 25 minutes. And the other 2 are coming via ground transportation. One arrived just about 10 minutes ago. And now, after all of the earthquakes Brawley has experienced so far today, thankfully, there has been no major damage at the hospital. Some things have fallen off their shelves, though, and the hospital will be assessed within the next hour to make sure that patients can eventually come back, hopefully within the next few days. Here's what JFK says about taking on these new patients.
Disasters by any means, but what we do a lot to prepare, and for us it's really a matter of making sure that we can accommodate anything we can for them. We look at calling in the leadership team, for example, on a Sunday, which typically are not here. They can easily come in, supervisors can come in, and we just increase the emergency room staffing if there's going to be an increase in outpatient visits, for example, and bring them in so we can triage them.
JFK is ready to take on more patients if that's necessary. And we also spoke with somebody over at Eisenhower Medical Center, and they too are ready to take on patients if need be. Live in Indio, I'm Bianca Ray for News Channel 3. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bianca, thank you for that update. And right now we have Dr. Lucille Jones with the USGS on the phone. Dr. Jones, this is a very unique series of earthquakes. We mentioned earlier it's being described as a classic Brawley swarm. Can you go a little bit further into that?
Okay, yeah, there's something called the Brawley Seismic Zone, which extends from just south of Brawley up into the Salton Sea and connects the Imperial Fault to the San Andreas Fault. And it's characterized by these type of swarms where there will be hundreds, sometimes thousands of events, but the largest we've never seen get larger than magnitude 6. So we had 2 magnitude 5s today and almost a dozen magnitude 4s, about 35 events above 3. And the sequence is still going on. There will probably be plenty more felt events this evening.
Now, as far as out here in the Coachella Valley, do you think that this event could trigger something bigger, stronger here in the Coachella Valley?
We've never seen a Brawley swarm trigger an earthquake on any of the big faults around. The San Andreas, of course, is the one that you worry about in the Coachella Valley. And this is far enough away from the San Andreas. We wouldn't expect to see activity like that. Earthquakes do make other earthquakes more likely, but mostly very near where they already are.
All right. Anything about this particular swarm that has you concerned? Is there a way to predict that, yes, it could get worse as the night or even tomorrow happens?
Unfortunately, there isn't a way to be certain about it. I would say that it's active enough that we would be surprised if it suddenly stopped. I think it's much more likely that you'll be continuing to have events, but it may be, we've noticed that it's starting to die off in the last hour or so, which is a good sign. It's gotten very active for a while. But we wouldn't be surprised if we saw another earthquake of a similar size.
All right, Dr. Lucille Jones with the USGS, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've been getting phone calls and pictures all day. We want to thank viewers for sending in photos. And remember, when you see breaking news, call Newsline 3 at 760-773-3333. You can go to KESQ.com and click on Newsline 3. A fallen hero remembered and honored. The body of soldier Suresh Kraus came home today. The Cathedral City High School grad was killed in action in Afghanistan a little more than a week ago. Before heading to breaking news, News Channel 3's Bianca Ray covered a ceremony to pay tribute to Kraus this morning.
Suresh is someone who just lights up a room, just incredible energy, someone who's passionate about life, about people, and just a very driven, charismatic kid.
29-year-old Army Chief Warrant Officer Suresh Kraus always knew what he wanted to do with his life.
From day one, it was always, I want to be a pilot. It was, Uncle Brody, I'm going to be a pilot one day.
Kraus died when the UH-60 Black Hawk he was in was shot down in Afghanistan. Family and loved ones gathered at Signature Aviation at the Palm Springs Airport as Kraus's body arrived back home in a private jet. Patriot Guards paid tribute to the fallen hero before escorting his body to Forest Lawn.
During the Vietnam era, a lot of our service members were disrespected when they came back. And for many years, that went on. Patriot Guard that started in around early part of 2005. We will make sure that that does not happen again.
Seeing Kraus's casket, almost too much for family members to bear. Kraus made the ultimate sacrifice for his country, and his uncle says such selfless acts are characteristic of his nephew.
He was offered a lieutenant's position from the U.S. Army, but opted to enlist to just build credibility and see what it was like from day one to go through, what any soldier would go through.
He's the second serviceman from Cathedral City killed in the line of duty and the fifth local serviceman killed since the September 11th attacks.
What it just sends into our youth here in the Valley is that serving is noble and honorable.
Though his life was cut short, Suresh's uncle finds peace in everything his nephew has done.
Talk about being a pilot, that was his dream, and he accomplished that.
Bianca Ray, News Channel 3, Palm Springs.
Kraus's body will be laid to rest at 10 o'clock Thursday morning at Forest Lawn in Cathedral City. That's on the 69,800 block of Ramon Road. A service with full military honors will follow at Desert Memorial Park. We'll get a check on our weather now. Meteorologist Rob Bradley is in with a look at the conditions outside tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Jason. Yeah, let's take a look real quick at a picture we got from Seismo 3. This is the 4.8 magnitude earthquake that happened right around 4:30 this afternoon. Seismo 3's been picking up most of the larger earthquakes, although most of the quakes down there have been a 2 or 1 magnitude. Those haven't been showing up, but the 4.8 and the bigger one this morning did show up on our Seismo 3. Make sure if you're going down to that area, you are taking precautions because that swarm is going to continue for at least a couple more hours here, as that phoner just informed us. All right, clear skies, though. Good news for the people that are stuck outside today from those earthquakes. The drier conditions have persisted here, and we're seeing dew points down into the 30s. It's a good time to turn on the evaporative coolers. Finally, dew points under the 50-degree mark means you can turn those on. They're going to be effective. 104 degrees right now. Feels more like 100 degrees. Those northwesterly winds are also keeping us cool. The temperatures are going to be on the rise a little bit this week. The moisture is going to come back sometime in the middle of the week. That's going to bring us a chance of storms. I'll give you all the details in my full forecast in just a little bit. Jason.
Thanks, Rob. Areas stretching from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle are under hurricane warnings tonight as Tropical Storm Isaac moves through the Gulf Coast. Isaac hit the Florida Keys today, bringing rain and strong winds. Airports have canceled hundreds of flights. As Karen Travers reports, the storm is expected to hit somewhere between southeastern Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle.
Isaac is churning the coastal waters off Florida and churning the political waters inland. Residents are digging in as Isaac approaches, and Republicans are scrambling to alter their national convention. Even below hurricane force, Isaac gave Floridians reason to be nervous. Driving winds and drenching rains left no doubt that worse is on the way.
With the RNC coming in, a lot of people coming in town, kind of worried about that. That's a lot of people that got to try to move.
Along Florida's west coast, they're boarding up, stocking up.
Basically flashlights and batteries, because last time the electricity went out and I didn't have any batteries or light. So I have 3 boys and a dog, and we need to see.
And battening down.
It could be nothing, but then it could be a lot. So If you don't take precautions, then if it is a lot, you're in trouble.
Isaac's trail of misery is already wound through Haiti, where at least 6 died in torrential rains and flooding, and Cuba, where the storm spread havoc, inflicting widespread property damage. Isaac is now tracking westward, expected to become a hurricane when it crosses the Florida Keys this afternoon. When it hits the Gulf Coast, it could be a Category 2 storm. The change of course is good news for Republicans gathering in Tampa to nominate Mitt Romney for president.
We're hopeful that the RNC will have a great convention.
But it will be shorter, as the specter of Isaac spurred the GOP to cancel Monday's agenda, cramming 4 days of convention business into 3.
Tampa is expected to be spared the worst of Isaac's wrath, but with up to a half a foot of rain in the forecast, city officials and convention officials are concerned about the risk of flooding. Karen Travers, ABC News, Tampa, Florida.
A deadly plane crash near South Lake Tahoe. Next on News Channel 3, details on the crash and the brush fire it sparked, plus a series of vehicle burglaries in Cathedral City. You're watching KESQ, the desert's news leader. Police are investigating a cluster of vehicle burglaries in Cathedral City last night. Police found 5 vehicles with smashed windows on East Palm Canyon near the Mary Pickford Theater around 9 o'clock. Some victims said they had items stolen. Police did not find any suspects. Investigators say there have been a number of car burglaries in that area over the past few weeks. Also in Cathedral City, a hit-and-run rollover crash that has police looking for 3 suspects. It happened just before midnight at the intersection of Ramon and Avenida La Gaviota. Police say this red Nissan slammed into a parked car, then flipped over in the road. Witnesses said they saw 3 males run from the car. Open alcohol containers were also found at the scene. Police went to the home of the registered owner, 19-year-old Jose Ruiz. His mother told officers the car was stolen, but police say evidence did not back up that story. Police interviewed Ruiz, believing he was the driver, but did not have enough evidence to hold him. The investigation continues. A Banning man is dead after being hit by a car last night. It happened just before 9 on the 5000 block of West Wilson Street. A car hit 2 pedestrians, including 81-year-old Roy Azernoff, who died at the scene. The other pedestrian had minor injuries. No word on whether alcohol or drugs were a factor. The crash is under investigation. Several people are dead after a plane crash in Northern California. A single-engine plane went down just after takeoff from the South Lake Tahoe airport last night. A dispatcher for the company of the plane owner says 5 people were aboard at the time, including 3 children. The El Dorado County Sheriff's Department says the plane burst into flames and started a 1-acre fire that took more than 90 minutes to put out. Most of the wreckage caught fire, making it difficult to identify the plane and victims. Coming up on News Channel 3, Rob's back with your full first alert forecast, and he's got a preview now.
All right, 106 degrees our high today. Luckily, the dew points are down, so that 106 did not feel anything like that. Mostly felt like under 100 degrees for most of the day today. Unfortunately, the moisture is going to come back. I'll let you know all the details about when that'll happen after the break. Remember, you can get your weather online anytime at KESQ.com.
Now, First Alert Weather with Rob Bradley.
Good evening, everybody. Drier air finally returned to the Coachella Valley today. Dew points, yeah, they're down there. 33 degrees our dew point right now. Okay to turn those evaporative coolers on, making that 104 degrees feel like a little bit less than that. You could thank those northwesterly winds out at 13 miles an hour for bringing us in the cooler and drier air. That's going to continue for at least another day or so before we start to see some changes in the middle of your work week. Temperatures right now, 104 degrees Palm Springs, 103 in Thermal, 107 down in Imperial. The dew points here, they're making everything feel just a little bit nicer outside. 33 degrees in Palm Springs, 31 in 29 Palms, 39 down in Imperial. So when you factor that in with the heat, everything's feeling, under 100 degrees except for Imperial. 98 is what it feels like Palm Springs, 99 in Thermal, 102 down in Imperial. All right, this drier air is going to continue pushing in here for the rest of your weekend on into Monday. But then after Monday, sometime middle of Tuesday, we're going to start to see a shift. We're going to get that southerly flow to start building back over our area as that high pressure is going to start to build in and push it over our way. It's going to bring temperatures up. The moisture is going to come up as well. Your forecast for tomorrow, most of the rain and clouds staying further off to the east. That's not going to start creeping into our area until sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday. We start to see shower chances again over the high deserts and the mountains. Your dew point forecast getting up there Wednesday and Thursday. Not quite as sticky as we saw last week, but still up there enough to make you feel it. 91 degrees by 10 p.m. tonight, 88 by midnight. If you're going to be out on Sunday, it's still going to be nice and dry out there, though. Tonight, 78 degrees, clear and calm conditions. It's going to be feeling just a little bit cooler. 110 degrees in Coachella tomorrow, 111 in Thermal, Palm Desert, 108 degrees. That's right around average, maybe up there a little bit. Indio, 110 degrees tomorrow. Palm Springs, 107. The Tram over at 76 degrees. The Benny Pass also getting up there just a little bit more than what we saw. There's the temperatures coming back in. Beaumont, 98 degrees tomorrow. Yucca Morongo Valley also getting up there, 97, 98. And Joshua Tree just flirting with that 100-degree mark right at 99 degrees tomorrow. Your next 7 days, the middle of the week is going to be a little bit rough. Like we saw last week, the humidity comes back, the temperatures go up a little bit, but weekend looks good again, so weather's helping us out.
Still got plenty of summer left.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right, thanks, Rob. Sports is next on News Channel 3. A teenage golfer is setting a new record on the LPGA Tour. Plus, a Dodgers legend isn't done yet. Greg Lee's next with Vin Scully's big decision. First look at what's coming up tonight on ABC. Those are the programs. We'll be next. We will also be here for News Channel 3 at 11. You're watching the Desert's News Leader.
Now, the best local sports show with Greg Lee.
Greetings, sports fans. The good news keeps on coming for the LA Dodgers. Just a day after completing the biggest trade in team history, they announced the return of an icon to their broadcasting booth.
Number he wore in San Diego. He drives one into deep right field, right down the line in the corner. 3-run home run.
Vin Scully made the call on Adrian Gonzalez's first at-bat with the Blue, adding another celebrated moment to his legendary broadcasting career. The 84-year-old announced he will return in 2013 for an unprecedented 64th season. The big moves from the new ownership certainly playing a role in Scully's decision. He said, they want to win, and they want to win now. So I want to hold with two hands and see how far they're going to take this ball club. Surely a lot of happy Dodger fans out there could be happier if the Blue finished their sweep of the Marlins. Adrian Gonzalez coming through again for his new team. Bloops an RBI single to left field. It scores another new addition, Nick Punto, 1-0 Dodgers. Marlins bring the big bats in the fifth. Rob Brantley at the dish. Deep to right center, 2-run home run. Miami up 3-1. Back to Punto. Check out the defense. Makes a great diving stop. Scoop to second for the out. That's a bright spot, but the Dodgers fall to Miami 6-2. Your final. Rubber match for the Angels and Tigers. Halos with a 1-0 lead early and protecting it. Looks like Omar Infante is going yard. Watch Vernon Wells. Steals it from him. Here's another look. Nice snag. Angels struggled to get the bats going against Max Scherzer, though. Made a lot of people miss. Struck out 9 in 7 innings of work. Bottom 6, same score. Prince Fielder reminds everyone why he's a 2-time home run derby champ. Crushes one to right. Tigers go up 2 runs. Angels fall to Detroit 5-2. The final. Some future major leaguers hit the diamond in Williamsport one more time. The Little League World Series championship game features a team from Tennessee representing the U.S. and Japan.
Osaka could win it with a swing. This ball center field and deep. Has he done it? He did. It's over the wall.
This one all Japan thanks to Noriatsu Osaka. The 12-year-old slugger hit 3 home runs, including the one that ended the game early. Japan beats the U.S. 12-2 and wins their 8th Little League title.
Bradley Smith, nice shot. He's going to bring in a few more.
In the consolation game, Bradley Smith and the boys from Petaluma, California locked up 3rd place in the tourney. The West Coasters lost the thriller to Tennessee to miss their shot at the title. Still, an impressive tournament. They meet Panama 12-4. Let's take it to the links. Final round from the Barclays in Farmingdale, New York. Tiger Woods, 6 strokes back, needs a big Sunday effort. Yeah, not this time, bro. Bogey putt on 12 goes wanting. He finished tied for 38th. Overnight leader Sergio Garcia struggled in the final round. Bunker shot on 8, too much mustard. Dribbles way past the hole. He'd bogey there. Same hole, Nick Watney takes advantage. Look at him read this break perfectly. Slow rolls this in for birdie and takes the lead. More problems for Serge. Par putt rims out on him. Another bogey. Watney stays solid. Drains the 10-footer on 18 to secure the win and top spot in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Ladies' turn, final round of the Canadian Open. 15-year-old Lydia Ko trying to make history. She did work with the putter. Hits her 4th birdie in a row at 13. Then showing off some of the wedge play later. Drops this beautiful shot close on the 17th hole. She can't even drive yet, but Ko wins by 3 strokes. Becomes the youngest winner in LPGA history. The previous record was 16. Speaking of teenage stars, the Friday Night Lights return to the best local sports show. Several Desert teams kicked off season in Week 0 action, including the Desert Hot Springs Golden Eagles. They exacted their revenge on Aquinas from a year ago with a big defensive performance. That's just one storyline. If you want to see them all, just log on to our website, click on sports. That does it for sports tonight. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
All right, one last look at weather. Dry air is here now, not so much in the middle of the week, but some relief on the way for the weekend.
Time's up. We'll be back at 11.